I am studying for the New York City Department of Building Site Safety Manager exam, and as part of my studying, I have to be familiar with the 1968 Building Code, and I'm not certain. I think 1968 was the first building code, and then I had heard through a couple of videos that right around 9/11 is when they realized they needed to update the code. And a lot of changes were around 2008. And the latest code that we're working off right now is 2014, with an anticipated, I think, update of 2018. So in my previous videos, I read the content that is in Volume 1 and Volume 2. And of course, you can go on the New York City Gov website and reference the building code, and you can also purchase it as it shows here on their website. So now I'm covering the building code updates, and these are updates after July 1, 2008. We have RS 4-4, which is the Flood Hazard Mapping Program. The next one is RS 4-4 Amendment. This amendment updates the FEMA firms to incorporate a letter of map amendment approved by FEMA in the Hunts Point area of the Bronx. And you can continue reading at that on your leisure. New York State Laws of 2010, Chapter 225. An act to amend the Multiple Dwelling Law and Administrative Code of the City of New York in relation to clarifying certain provisions relating to occupancy of Class A multiple dwellings. Then we have View Chapter 225 Amendment. And then Local Law 141 of 2013. This local law repealed the following provisions of the 1968 Building Code. Okay, so this makes sense why when I was reading Volume 1, a lot of them had slashes through them, meaning that they've been superseded. Meanwhile, Volume 2 didn't have any sections that were superseded. So that's where you reference, you go from 1968 Building Code Volume 1 sections, and then you jump to Local Law 141 of 2013. That's what I'm presuming based upon what I'm reading here. And the last code update is New York State Laws of 2016, Chapter 393. An ACT to amend the Multiple Dwelling Law and Administrative Code of the City of New York in relation to prohibiting advertising that promotes the use of dwelling units in a Class A multiple dwelling and for other than permanent resident purposes. And then we have, I'm going to click on it, additional prior codes. Okay. First one was 1938. Okay, so the original code is the 1938 Building Code. Then we went to 1968 Building Code. Then it jumped to 2008 Building Code. And then, of course, 2014 is the current. Okay. More info to come. Stay tuned.